Right, good evening. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. This is the bottom line. On the bottom line, it is the best of business analysis across the length and breadth of the airwaves of the country. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We're having a very special topic and, of course, a business topic which supports everyone in the country that everybody has to be interested in. What are we talking about tonight? We are focusing on the National Entrepreneurship Innovation Program, the NEIP. We are looking at how they've been able to support businesses, startups, young entrepreneurs here in the country, and what your opinion is on business support in Ghana. Are you a startup? Are you having or incubating a business idea? Do you have a plan to begin a business? This is your show tonight. You want to stick and stay with us? We'll be talking about the presidential pitch as well. We'll be talking about the greenhouse of the NEIP. We'll be talking about how you can enroll on any of the programs of the NEIP, and we are privileged tonight to be hosting the Chief Executive Officer of the National Entrepreneurship Innovation Program. We'll go into details of how they've supported young businesses and startups. What about the Ghana Cares of Atampa program, which was read in Parliament by the Finance Minister, Honorable Ken Ofori, some time back in Parliament, and the expectations of all the programs for young people, especially here in Ghana. Stick and stay with us. My name is Kwesi Afriye. We're coming your way live from our studios here at Rage in Accra. When I come back from the break, I'll be telling you a bit or playing you a video about what's been happening so far with the NEIP, and we'll get the Chief Executive Officer seated here in the studio, and we will begin our questions right away. Remember that tonight you'll be allowed, not on phone anyway, but via text messages or WhatsApp, to share your concerns or ask your questions or ask how you can get a business support from the NEIP. Stick and stay with us. We'll be right back. Right, you welcome back from the break. This is the bottom line. We say business at the speed of thought. Let me talk to you a little about, I have a video to play to you. I was going to run ahead of myself to talk to you a little about what's been happening at the National Entrepreneurship Innovation Program, but I am rather going to play the video to you. But I've stated that tonight my focus is on everyone who is interested in entrepreneurship, everyone who is interested in starting up a business, everyone who already has a startup, everyone who is a young person and is an entrepreneur or seeking to become an entrepreneur. So I've told you already that I'm going to have the Chief Executive Officer of the National Entrepreneurship Innovation Program here in the studio. And I'm privileged actually to have him already here in the studio. I'm going to introduce him, and then when I'm done, I'll play the video for you. When we come back, you can start putting up your concerns, your questions, whether it's about financing, whether it's about business support, whether it's about whatever relationship. If you even have had a relationship with the NEIP before, you may want to share your testimony with us as well. The unfortunate thing is that I can't allow phone in. I would only do SMS or WhatsApp messages. Welcome to the studio, Chief KOFI OFOSU NKANSAH. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for joining us tonight.
Thank
I hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I've not been here.
We are happy we have you here tonight.
Thank you. We are back to continue with the communication of the
Yes.
work that we are doing on behalf of the President and the people of Ghana.
But how is it going so far? You're good?
Oh, so far so good. You know, my predecessor, Honorable John Kuma, and his minister then, Honorable Dr. Awa, started some programs, presidential page, presidential business support, PMID, that's the disability programs, students entrepreneurship program, and a host of others. And we are also continuing, and we've even added new programs to our portfolio based on the existing needs of the population, young people of Ghana, and their business interests. So far, so good. We've been busy at NEIP and hope all this will feed into the broad national agenda of building an entrepreneurial nation to ensure that the resources that are needed are provided the young people of Ghana to be job owners instead of going out there to seek for jobs all the time. So the focus now is on ensuring that we inculcate into the youth the spirit of entrepreneurship right from tertiary institutions or right after post-high school, so that instead of going out there to chase for non-existent job, because we have over 100,000 graduates coming out of the university each year, they would rather become, job owners who would then employ their colleague young people, so that together we can all create a sustainable entrepreneurial nation to achieve fiscal consolidation and also to help achieve our import substitution targets of replacing most of the goods that we import from the international market that ordinarily we should have been producing ourselves by now.
So, you said, I'll go to the video pretty shortly, and that's the main focus for tonight.
Yeah.
The presidential pitch, and we've seen some figures that you're embarking on. I've gone through your website, and I don't want to take the wind out of the sail. I've seen very impressive figures. I'll come to all of that. But let me start this from a very unusual angle. When I posted your flyer, I've had about at least 7 different messages. Someone says, I want to find the message and read his message exactly. Felix, what it says, please, I have a fish farm. Can you link me up to the CEO of the NEIP?
Yeah.
Sorry, I cannot link you up to the CEO of the NEIP, but you are here yourself.
Yeah.
This is one of the 7 messages I've had, and all of them are requesting to either have a personal relationship, to either be able to reach out to you, I don't know whether personally, but by large, link up with the NEIP, whether for business support, whether for partnership, whether for... How is it like to be able to get to you? This is very unusual before we get into the details.
So most of our programs are listed on our websites as and when they're about to take off, and also on our social media pages. So if you go on the NEIP website right now, neip.gov.gh, you'll find a call for application on our Economic Enclave project, which is one of the commercial agri projects we're embarking on, and that the Ghana Cares Over Tampa program, to onboard you for rice production projects in Esuchari in the Greater Accra region. That is just one example. You also find our phone numbers there. You can reach to agents, and our offices are also open. We have customer service officers there who will also attend to you. The CEO also.
Do you have offices across the country?
So we partner our hubs. So we have lots of hubs across the country that we partner with. That if you want to reach any app, you can go through them.
But if we go to your website, and I'm on your website now, www.neip.gov.gh.
Yeah.
If we go there now, we should be able to link up with you or link up with any of your hubs and then visit you.
Exactly. Or get the phone numbers and call us and ask about which programs are being run currently, which one is next, and all that. Because what it is that we have timelines for all the programs. So the one doing aquaculture, for instance, you can call us and enroll on the Youth in Innovative Agriculture Program, which covers tubers, vegetables, aquaculture, livestock, poultry, agro-processing, agri-tech, and many others for youth who are interested in taking up agri as their businesses. So I'm inviting the gentleman who tested to want to enter into aquaculture to come to the office tomorrow, either tomorrow or Wednesday, and meet up, and then we'll have a chat and maybe we can support him.
And those who are sending me, please read me a message. I'll make sure, if time permits, we'll read your messages. But to start it off, you mentioned that you want to grow the nation or support the government, the president's vision of growing the nation to become an entrepreneurial nation.
Yeah.
For the lay people that are watching us,
and
for those of us who want to learn, how do you mean by that? We know that, yes, it is through the private sector, it is through entrepreneurship that people will become men of themselves. But how do you mean by growing the nation to become an entrepreneurial one?
So what that means is that all of us will come together for concerted effort to ensure that we play our roles to nurture entrepreneurs, to grow businesses who would then become the unicorns of tomorrow the Joe Spons, as we sit here, this platform is for him, the Kwame Despies, and the other big businesses. When fintech started, it was like a joke. Now we have big firms, if I be permitted, like ExpressPay, ZPay, Apta, and the rest. You know, they started like startups, like those we support now. And now they are big African examples for us now. You know, the private sector is where jobs are created. You know, how many people can government have on government payroll? Very limited number. So I always say that the support has been tiered. In building an entrepreneurial nation, it starts right from the industrialization agenda. The 1D, 1F that is being rolled out across the country, the Development Bank Ghana, which is being set up to provide long-term patient capital for these industrial giants, the strategic anchor industries, which is being, you know, driven by the Ministry of Trade, where we have the textiles and garment line, we have the pharmaceutical line, we have the automotive industry line, and several other lines, which are all private sector driven, and they are creating jobs. The support that Exim Bank gives to our industrialization agenda, the 1D, 1F, all this is part of the creating the entrepreneurial nation, the special focus and attention that the government through the Ministry of Finance gives to the private sector, the various stimulus packages that is given through the Trade Ministry, they are all support. As you come down, you go to the likes of Ghana Enterprises Agency, who have various grants and programs for existing SMEs, you know, who need continuous support, you know, interest-free loans and grants and other technical support services, other business development support services to help grow these existing SMEs. And then when you come further down to the likes of us, the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program, we have support for startups, where even if you have an idea, we hold your hand and nurture you and guide you, give you seed capital, whether it is equipment or machinery support, from ideation right to getting your prototype to commercializing same to going into market, all the basic support that enterprises need to grow, from funding to market access to technology support to regulatory and compliance support to business development support to technology support to everything that startups need to grow. Cumulatively, this is what we mean by providing integrated national support towards building an entrepreneurial nation. So NEIP alone cannot help us create the sustainable entrepreneurial nation that we are talking about. So
but you are the fulcrum, you are the focus, you are the base.
We are the basic, exactly. Yes. We are the roots, at the grassroots, you know, providing the guidance and the direction to the startups.
You have the needed support from the private sector, effective collaboration with the private sector.
Yes, we do. So if you come to NEIP, our main partners that we work with are the hubs, who are our accelerators and our incubators, as they say in the technology space. That is where the nurturing of the businesses take place. That is where the hand-holding takes place. That is where the training and the capacity building take place. Someone wants to develop an app, and they enter the tech lab at Accra Digital Center, where they are taught the coding and how to take the product, the software to the market when it is done, going through 3-month incubation period, going through a 6-month acceleration period. These are done by the private sector, the hubs, and we do partner with them and ensure that all our training programs are done in these spaces. We have a relationship with the Ghana Startups Association. We have a relationship with the Hubs Network of Ghana. We have a relationship with the Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs and other private sector partners that we do collaborate with to ensure, because the support that we are providing is for the private sector. We are at the government side, and we need to collaborate with them to ensure that.
So Daniel Yeboah from Awusi is asking that, why is NEIP not a baby of the large corporate entities in the private sector, like the telecommunication companies, the banking sector, the agric, and so on and so forth? Why are they not pumping their corporate social responsibility monies into the NEIP to create more entrepreneurs and also create more jobs? Why is government the only one funding the NEIP? Do they have money at all?
So that's a good question. We do collaborate with the private sector sometimes. Previously, we've had some corporate partners come on board programs like the Presidential Pitch, the Presidential Empowerment for Male Entrepreneurs with Disability, the Presidential Empowerment for Women Entrepreneurs with Disability, and provide the support to the people. But this is a good invitation to the corporate world or the private sector to continue.
But do they reach out to you? Do they collaborate with you?
Oh, we
pump money
do
into beauty pageants and into
we
you are
do
creating
have
jobs.
Yeah,
you are
we do have a
entrepreneurs.
relationship with them, but as Oliver Trace, we would ask for more and ask
Do
that
they bring you money?
more of them. That's what I've said. I've said that in previous editions of the presidential pitch, for instance, we've had support from
them.
some private sector entities in previous years. So I cannot say we've never had any collaboration. And we don't only collaborate with the private sector, we also collaborate with the development partners. We are currently going to roll out an agri support program under the USAID GTI program. You know, we are working on something with one of the United Nations agencies, UNDP, and MasterCard Foundation, for instance. We are also cooking something with JICA, the Japan Development Agency, and others that are yet to come to fruition. So,
do you have enough funding for all of these?
It will never be enough because Ghana is an entrepreneurial nation. You know, the output of startups and SMEs in our country is bigger than the entire energy sector, oil and gas. It's bigger than the entire banking sector. It's bigger than the entire telecommunication sector, because on every street, you have a business, you have a startup, you have companies germinating and coming up. Now, because of new media and the advent of technology, we have people setting up virtual companies, and they prepare the products in their homes and they use Instagram and other social media platforms to create them. So we have millions of startups and entrepreneurs who need support and are growing, and they need a hand-holding and donation. And NEIP will not be able to get enough.
But the budget you send to the ministry, which is always read in Parliament, does it come?
Oh, yeah, this year.
Does the ministry provide you with the
Yes,
funds?
of course.
Because you need more than enough, like we are saying. Of course, you cannot support everybody.
This year, for instance, we've done about 5 programs already, and we have about 4 more open the end.
So the ministry pushes your money to you.
All this came from the Ministry of
We know that the ministry caps a lot of agencies, departments, and so on and so forth. And so we want to make a case. If you don't get all your money, the ministry should release your money to you, so you are
We are
able
not
to
capped
support.
because we don't have a statutory allocation like, let's say, Youth Employment Agency.
You don't have a statutory allocation.
Which is getting allocation from, let's say, CST or Communication Service Tax, which may be capped. We get from the GOG allocations that government gets. So, but this year, what we allocated has come in. As I've mentioned earlier, we've done some programs through the Ghana Cares. We've done Youth Innovative Agric. We've done Presidential Pitch.
Let's see. Before you go on, I'll come back to ask you what these specific programs are, because I've seen, for example, the presidential pitch. But there was a video I wanted to start with. The conversation is getting exciting, and I'm getting lots of text messages coming in. I promise to read them, all of these messages. Some Emmanuel Amikia, you're asking about the greenhouse. I'm going to go into that pretty shortly, so you do stay with us. We'll see a video, the first video on what they've been doing so far. I'm sure we'll get to the video of the presidential pitch in the course of our discussion. So let's see the first one.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. Welcome to season 4 of the presidential pitch competition. We started with a top 30. We shortlisted to the top 15. Now we are here with our top 10. Mr. President, here are your top 10 finalists. Havila Organics, Fetuli Foods, Biddy Green, Prosect Feed Limited, Relu Interactives, Scribble Works, Deaf Can Talk, Genodome Waste Management, Ricoplast, and Rico Solutions.
The presidential pitch coaching session has been a very exciting few days. Ideas that are around feasibility, scalability, innovation, and impact. These ideas are mind-blowing. It's been a delight to coach them through this process, through late nights, until we've come up with the final 10. I know that these businesses have the potential, capacity, and capability to succeed.
would pay homage to His Excellency the President for having the vision to set up NEIP as a flagship initiative to provide integrated national support for startups and small businesses. And also to Honorable Dr. Awa and Honorable Dr. John Kuma, who led the implementation by starting with innovative programs like the Presidential Pitch, which has produced a lot of successful startups. One of which is Pizza Man Chicken Man, which is now the largest restaurant chain in the country. Other beneficiaries of the Presidential Pitch are doing well in various business areas.
My name is Amy Beth Aku-Kwanson. I'm the CEO and founder of Kawamoka Coffee Company, which is working with farmers in the rural community to produce world-class coffee from Ghana. We participated in the presidential pitch. With the support of the funding, we were able to purchase our first inventory from our farmer network. We've also been able to increase our farmer footprint to 250. We have been able to employ 12 people in our roastery. So keep drinking Ghana coffee and let's make a positive impact together.
My name is Abdul Salam Mohammed, CEO and co-founder of Oxygen Health. At Oxygen Health, what we do is to build digital health technologies to connect patients to multiple health services and health service providers. Prior to we applying and being part of the presidential pitch, what we had was just an idea. But with the seed funding from the presidential business pitch, we're able to develop our first technology, a startup with 2 people. Today, our core team is 10. We have also impacted in terms of access to our health education resources to well over 100,000 people on our portal.
Hello, my name is Mabel Suglo, founder of Dignified Wear. At Dignified Wear, we train and employ persons with disabilities and rural women to hand-make shoes, locally woven fabric clothing, and traditional jewelry from recycled materials such as car tires, scrap fabrics, recycled glass, and plastic beads. We are a team of 8. So winning the presidential pitch in 2019 has been of immense help because it has enabled me to recruit more employees and then build our production site. This also led to the other benefit of having to win machinery from GIZ. I would like to thank His Excellency for this kind gesture. Thank you.
My name is Vanessa Aisha Liman. I'm the CEO of Vanillin Enterprise. Vanillin Enterprise is into the production of healthy breakfast cereal using locally sourced grains like maize, wheat, and millet for value addition. Through the presidential pitch, I was able to invest in my packaging. I got FDA approval. I was able to employ about 15 sales personnel who currently work in the supermarket to promote the products. I wouldn't have been where I am and my business wouldn't be where it is if I wasn't supported by the NEIP and the president.
Oh, that's some. So we've heard about the presidential pitch over and over again. I think I should read 1 or 2 messages.
Yeah.
Lots of messages are coming in. If I don't take care, I may not be able to. But we'll come back to the video we've just watched. Let me read just about 3 of them. It's always refreshing to listen to or watch this particular CEO. He gives us one of the few who has used his office to help boost the number of entrepreneurs in the country. May God bless you and please continue with the good works you are using your office to do. You have made NEIP an attractive institution which have raised the banner of the NPP-led government. Emmanuel Apia Kubi Sashi Akontombra sent in that one. Sally Susechre, SS from Power Uti region. NEIP should focus on agriculture for the betterment of Ghana and Africa, building Ghana together. Can the program support me with a greenhouse for a rooftop garden? I am Emmanuel Amikia from Accra. NEIP and KOFI OFOSU NKANSAH will produce a lot of entrepreneurs in Ghana. They can, okay, you've sent this already. Breaking the 8 is highly possible. Such as said, today is your birthday. Well, happy birthday to you. Such as Salisu, SS from Power in Uti region. You say building Ghana together. Can the NEIP do a field? You said, why is it that the NEIP won't do a field site visit of farmers, especially in poultry that collapsed, and do the assessment to help them revive it, even if half capacity, instead of amounts that can raise 2% of the capacity? Ahmed Tamale. I'm sure we will get an answer. Please, I want to find out from the CEO of NEIP the progress after the regional training. Theophilos Kamak from Sujaman sent in that one. There are loads of text messages that are coming in saying congratulations to you and saying you're doing so well at the NEIP. But I'm focusing on the ones which are asking questions. But from the video, the presidential page, we saw the first one, second one, third one, and this is the fourth one. Take us through it. What exactly it's been so far?
So presidential pitch is a national competition of startups. And the whole idea is to expose the high growth potential startups, those who have potential to become big companies in future to the world. So we bring them to the fore for the public to see them, and then we will link them to the prospective investors for them to invest heavily in them. Chicken Man, Pizza Man didn't get millions, but today he is what he is today because after he was exposed by NEIP and connected to angel
so
investors.
For those of the people that are watching you for the first time, Pizza Man, Chicken Man that we see all around, had gone through your process.
He went through the competition in 2019, which was the second season. He was 10th, which was even the last position at the final because usually we have 10 finals. But here we have him as the most successful,
it's a
contestant.
Big business now.
They have over 40 branches, the largest restaurant chain in the country now, employing over 1,000 people, and we all enjoy delicacies from them. So it's an example of how
you are supporting businesses.
This program is. This year too, we had very exciting startups coming on board. All 1 to 10 were very promising, and with the support that we are going to give them from 200,000 cedis for the winner to the last, which is about 30,000, which is 30th place. We hope.
So you have
to place
30
them,
finalists.
We had 30 finalists.
30 finalists.
But 10 of them pitched to the president at the grand finale. And we are giving 2.5 million cedis in awards to these 30 finalists from 200,000, Ghana cedis to the last.
The minimum is getting 30,000
cedis
to expand their business.
Exactly, and we are going to put them on TV, to link them to prospective investors based on the areas they are operating in. They exhibited very exciting products and services when they pitched to the president, and we hope that we have other prospective investors coming on board to invest in these businesses for them to become the future unicorns. If you go to the American technology ecosystem, when they say unicorn, it means a startup with a value of at least $1 billion. If we're able to contextualize that locally, to say that a Ghanaian unicorn is a local company with a value of 1 billion Ghana cedi, that will still be a lot of money, and that is our target. That in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, these exciting products and services which were exhibited by the young people at the fourth presidential pitch will become our unicorns of tomorrow to help us, create more jobs for the young people of Ghana. And we had products like educational software, Momoni Cube. Somebody's processing Momoni into a cube, which can even be exported
for export.
So
the
that
local Momoni we know.
Local money, so that the Ghanaians abroad can also have a taste of it. And that has big potential. He was second. We have somebody doing smokeless charcoal using corn and palm kernel, for barbecues and those things. We have somebody who is using plastic waste to do pavement bricks. We had someone come out with a Deaf Can Talk app, an application which converts text messages.
ICT.
Exactly. So people are able to communicate with deaf people who are agents or storekeepers at various shops because of this app. We have Prep Time, which is also an educational software. Dustbins from waste ties, insect-based feed, which is very important because this is feed for poultry, livestock, and also even to produce organic fertilizer. Mango butter, coconut waste into carbon filters to help us purify the polluted rivers as a result of galamsey and what have you. So we had very interesting and promising products that we are going to put out there. We will come to Metro, buy some of your airtime, and put these 10 finalists, the pitching that they did, for the international community, even beyond Ghanaian borders, to see them and see the potential that we have. So that if we're able to focus and build this 10, if Chicken Man, Pizza Man alone is employing
1,000 people, a minimum of 1,000 people.
If we're able to grow these 10 finalists, out of even
that's
the
10,000 jobs immediately.
Exactly. So this is a competition program. Others are mass, like presidential business support, period and permit. Once you come, you get support. But we specifically select those which have high potential to become the unicorns of tomorrow under the presidential pitch, so that we will get attention on them to link them to the prospective investors. And the criteria is that the business must be innovative, they must be scalable, they must be feasible, they must be impactful, and they must have the potential to create jobs. And all these are also geared towards helping us to achieve our import substitution program, because most of these things that I speak about are things that we buy from the international market. If we're able to grow startups which can provide these basic products and services locally, it means that the $2 billion that we use to import most of these basic consumables, will be left in Ghana, and we will not end up spending $2 billion from foreign exchange, from cocoa export, to import these things and help us manage our currency as well.
There are about 6 questions asking when the pitch is going to be opened again.
It's an annual competition, so you should expect it's same time next year. Around
the questions are suggesting that the time lapse between one and the next season is too long.
So presidential pitch is not.
Can you do it twice a year?
Presidential pitch is something we can consider and ponder over.
Lots of people need support.
Yes,
lots of people.
Yes, but that is why this month, for instance, the coming month in September, we are going to do an award for the YouStart program. All those who didn't get opportunity to participate in the presidential pitch is very small because it's a competition-based program, and only 30 people get to the final, and 10 get opportunity to pitch to the president. But for YouStart, everybody can come on board. No matter the sector your business is from, what matters is that it must have potential and it must be commercially viable. So we encourage those who didn't get opportunity to participate in our previous program to take advantage of our.
Of course, we heard the finance minister. We've heard you a number of times. There are people who may be watching us for the first time. What does it entail, the YouStart program?
So the YouStart is an ambitious youth employment program through the private sector to create 1 million jobs for the young people of Ghana in the next 3 years. And in the YouStart program, we are providing support to young people 40 years and below. And the support comes in the form of starter packs, which can be equipment support, equipment credit, machinery, money to rent office, or your factory, and what have you.
Which specific areas are you considering? Should it be artisans? Should it be
any business which is local? What we do not support is importation of finished products.
Okay.
But if, let's say, you are importing flour to do your pastries business, then because you are coming to add value to it, you qualify. So from archaeology to zoology, whether it is tea beds, whether it is light manufacturing or processing, whether it is agric, whether it is a creative art center, if you are a poet and you think you can commercialize it to make money, you come through the portal and apply for YouStart support. We can support you. So as I was saying, the support comes in the form of grants, equipment credit, business development support, technology support, regulatory and compliance support for those who need FDA, standards authority, and other regulatory body support. And we ensure that we help nurture your business so that you can also employ more people, because the target is to create 1 million jobs. So if you are one person and you sell cocoa and fruit or kose, and you're able to expand it to 2-3 branches because of the YouStart support, and you add 4 more employees, then we will count the 4 more people and say that we've created 4 more jobs through the district entrepreneurship program. And YouStart is not just what we are implementing with Ghana Enterprises Agency. That is the district-based one, which we call the DEP, the District Entrepreneurship Program, where we give the grants. But those who need more than 100,000, very soon the banks are also going to come up under the commercial model, where the big SMEs, who need that support will also go through to assess low interest facilities at very subsidized rates, and government is providing the guarantee under the commercial model, so you won't even have to provide collateral or any security. And the third model,
that's very serious. No collateral.
Yeah, because government is serving as a collateral, but the banks will speak more about that. The third model is the YouStart Grace, which is going to be implemented by the religious bodies, organizations, because a lot of them teach these vocational courses, skills training, and what have you. So government is also routing some of the support through the churches so that they can train more people and also give them some starter packs. So that at least if you are not comfortable to come to GE or NEIP or go through the banks, within your church, probably, or the local council,
be comfortable enough
you can get an opportunity through training or some capacity.
You said next month, but when exactly is this happening?
So YouStart phase 1 has even
begun.
That was implemented by sister agency GA, and they've done all the training.
We saw you in at the launch, and
they've done all the training from basic through intermediate to advanced. 50,000 people were trained across the 3 phases, and about 10% of that number go to the advanced stage, and they are likely to get grants to support their business. But what is good about the support that we give is that sometimes somebody wouldn't even know that if I'm selling this product in the morning, if I repeat same in the evening, maybe I will duplicate my sales or my revenue. So going through the training and getting that, marketing knowledge alone can change the face of the business for them to even double their profit. So even for those who are not able to get grants, they can also get other benefits through the training and the capacity building. And because the program has been phased and other phases are being rolled out, including what is coming up in September, which is the GOG 1, and the main one, which also comes through support from the World Bank. If you go through phase 1 training and don't get support in phase 1, you can probably get the grant in phase 2 or phase 3. So it is a continuous program which is being rolled out. We encourage young people to continue to monitor the websites of the implementing agents so that as and when the portal is open, they can get the opportunity to also take advantage.
What difference are you doing at the agency? There are too many messages. I'm trying to run away from the messages that are praising you. But let's see. This one says, my name is, okay, let me go to Faji Kwame. I'm trying to run away because of some are questions, others are saying you are doing so well. But let me still try and read some of them. Hello, Faji from, this is African Innovation Center for Sustainable Development. I went to one innovation hub at the Digital Center.
Yeah.
Is it still working?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's active.
Can you please help me to know how I can get involved in the program? Faji Kwame Sija from Nsawam. My name is Chris Dix. Honorable KOFI NKANSAH is doing a fantastic job at NEIP. He has done a lot of entrepreneurial programs and have been lined up since he took over. He is competently ensuring the president's vision of creating jobs for the youth of Ghana. Much applause to him and his entire team. Good evening. Can your guest please go through the criteria of eligibility for pitching, including age limit? He said 40 and below.
Yeah, for presidential
and for
pitch, yeah.
eligibility, you need to have an idea. That's all. He's explained that already. Good evening. I'm actually enjoying the conversation. I want to ask the CEO when the disbursements will kickstart from the just ended training organized by the MGA Consult through NEIP. I mean the U-Start. He's just talking about the U-Start as well.
Very soon.
Right. That's Big J from Sydney West, Kwame Dansu. The man, boss KOFI OFOSU NKANSAH, is delivering the task that His Excellency imposed on him. Inshallah, we are heading towards Asante Achim Central seat in Parliament from your boy, Haruna Intamali. Are you still going for the Asante Achim Central seat?
Yeah, we're on it. Once a full soldier, always a full soldier. So we are contesting again. Our people need us, so we will respond to their call.
So maybe when we get to talk about politics, we should be asking the questions about Asante Achim. But it is established. And you have confirmed that you will go for the seat.
I'm right.
Asante Achim. Okay. Good evening, please. I want to join the group. I'm entitled in growing animal. You have expertise in growing animal. I'm sure you want to write.
You qualify to apply for support under U-Start or Youth in Innovative Agri. It doesn't matter the sector. Once it's a commercially viable venture and you're a young person, 40 years below, you qualify to apply. Yeah.
So Mutaru, if you have listened to the CEO
you take advantage
from
of
him
U-Start,
himself, you qualify to apply. Good evening. If they can invest more into agriculture, I would be happy. For instance, the importation of tomatoes and onions from Niger and other countries will limit at least. Amama Lanza sent in this one. So he says that whatever your trade is, if you come in for support, so if you want to invest in these areas that you are talking about, they will be happy to support it. I am still watching. Senior, please read mine there. Emmanuel Apia Kubi Seshi Akontombra. I have read yours early on. You said that it is refreshing to listen to or watch this particular CEO. I've read it earlier on. Too many messages. this is a government that is saying what we want to promote entrepreneurship and SMEs. Okay, please add your name, and I'll go back to it to read. But let me come back, and we have another video. Let me see if we'll be able to play it. I don't know if that's also on the presidential pitch. Let's do just about 2 minutes of it, and I will come back. Or I think that's been played already. Let's do about 2 minutes of the second video, and we'll come back to the Chief Executive Officer to also talk about. We have the greenhouse. We have a lot of other projects.
Yeah,
we'll give
we
you
have the HAPS acceleration program.
I'm told we don't have a lot of time, so let me allow you
to talk about the other programs.
To talk about the other projects.
All right. So the government of Ghana is investing about 80 million Ghana cedis to build the capacity of the private sector that you mentioned, who are HAPS and our partners in building the capacity of young people, running various incubator and accelerator programs, training them, and also giving them startup packs. So we've done support for 30 of them already, and each hub, all these hubs are across the 16 regions of the country. Each hub is getting at least 1 million Ghana cedis, up to 2 million Ghana cedis, to upgrade their facilities, their infrastructure, to buy equipment. Let's say if they need more laptops, flat screens, to do the training and the capacity building that they do, they are getting that. And also they are supposed to provide support by way of training to at least 20 startups within their catchment areas. So multiply 20 startups by the 30, and it means you are going to get a lot of companies, being nurtured, and they are also going to create more jobs at the grassroots. In addition to this, we are going to add 15 new hubs. We are also going to get minimum 2 million Ghana cedis, and all this is coming from government of Ghana through support of the World Bank to provide more support for the hubs who are partners in the community, so that they can also train more startups. This year, we've also trained over 1,200 prison inmates in light manufacturing areas. Skills like soap making, processing of Tom Brown, fruit juice making, local drinks like Sobolo, Asana, even medicated soaps for use by the prisons, so that the 15,000 young people who unfortunately find themselves behind bars, will also not be disadvantaged when it comes to opportunities government is providing by way of entrepreneurship support to young people of Ghana.
That's where you started, but I'll come back to this same question, that with all of this and the training, the empowerment, the development of entrepreneurs, where do you see the country, if we go on this same tangent, reaching in the next 5 or 10 years? And I've seen, before you answer that, I've seen that you have a partnership with the Youth Employment Agency as well. On your website,
over the
said
last
you have trained 10,000 people.
10,000 young people, with the Youth Employment Agency. And what we are doing is that it's an exit program for them, because, the YEA program is like 2-3 years. After that, you have to exit. So those who are interested in taking up entrepreneurship,
so you are training the people, the community police people, the chief people to become entrepreneurs on their own.
Those who then get opportunity to become nurses or prisons officers permanently or police officers, but want to become entrepreneurs, are being onboarded on our programs after this program. So that gradually they also come through the portal to get startup packs through the Youth Start program. So that is what we've started doing, and gradually all these YEA beneficiaries are also going to get support.
What do you see us reaching 5-10 years?
5-10 years, we expect a country where we have more local unicorns, who have the capacity to absorb most of our graduates who don't get jobs. Because the difference between the West and us now is that there are more factories, there are more companies. The private sector people, the commercial agri people, they are big and they can employ more people to help solve unemployment problem, to create wealth, to contribute to the GDP of the country, to help export these products. Now we have FAFTA, so we have to leverage it to take advantage of our 400 million regional market and the entire 1.3 billion regional market, so that people will also be chasing Ghana to get our city to come and import from here, instead of you always going out there to...
Sorry, let me cut you in on this. The time is actually up, but somebody says, good evening, I am Jemfi from Kaso. I want to start real estate development for commercial purposes. Can I also apply?
That is too big. That's bigger than our threshold. So, you should go to one of the commercial banks
and look for a facility.
And we do startups. So.
Right. Right. But let me read this last one. This one says, KON is doing well. I have observed the parallel program he's running in his constituency and have taken and have a concern to make. Well, this one is so Hansen Jima in Sunyaning. Well, that's politics. This is business or bottom line. We discuss business here. So
Hansen is from my constituency.
Yes,
it's from Asante Achimsen.
It's all Hansen Jima. Okay, so you know him very well.
Okay, that's a different Hansen then.
All right, all right. So too many messages coming up on the. She won't. Please, my daughter watches your program every Tuesday on Thursday. She won't allow me to arrange for her to meet. Okay, I'll